CMSportsNet is made possible by Genova's To Go and by Carroll Links.
Hi there, I'm Pat Stoetzer, and welcome to episode 10 of Game On, where we've got you covered on all things Carroll County High School sports. It's almost time for the football regional playoffs, and soccer has reached the state tournament rounds. We'll see where the county's teams are playing this week. No time to waste, it's Game On. The football postseason kicks off this Friday, and Carroll County has 6 teams in action. We'll be bringing you recaps from 3 of those games with a football playoff show, and I'll be joined by Winters Mill coach Matt Miller in our CMSportsNet studio. Regional soccer champions were crowned Tuesday, and we'll see which teams from Carroll County are making plans for state quarterfinal contests. You'll also see who we tabbed as the latest CMSportsNet Athlete of the Week. And we'll shine the spotlight on cross country and cheerleading to find out who won county titles last week. We're going to take a look at football results from Week 9, and we will start with the CMSportsNet Game of the Week from October 27th. It was Winters Mill and Westminster from Ruby Field to decide the Carroll County Athletic League title. Time to find out what went down in the Owl's Nest. The Carroll County Athletic League Championship was on the line when Winters Mill invaded Ruby Field to take on Westminster in a Week 9 football showdown on Friday, October 27th. A win by the Owls would give them a 4th county title in 5 seasons. A victory by the Falcons equals the program's first ever county championship. These rivals know the stakes, so facing a 4th and short inside their own 30 doesn't deter the Falcons from going for it and getting the first down on this Tyler Carroll run. Westminster had success on its first drive, led by junior Raekwon Warfield. He takes off on a 42-yard scamper that puts the Owls in the red zone. And Warfield caps the drive with a 1-yard touchdown plunge. The point after makes it 7-0 Owls. Now Westminster has a 4th down play, and the Owls make the most of it. Tyrese Walker fakes the handoff and keeps it up the middle for a 42-yard touchdown sprint. Josh Wagner's PAT makes it 14-0 Westminster. Winters Mill misses a field goal and Westminster takes over. But a few plays later, the Owls botch the snap and Walker is tackled in the end zone for a Falcon safety. Big Mill on the board at 14-2, and that's the halftime score from Ruby Field. Warfield leads the Owls on their first drive of the 3rd quarter, and they benefit from a face mask penalty to get into the red zone. Walker then finds fullback Casey Heisig on play action for a 12-yard touchdown, and Westminster extends the lead to 21-2. The Owls keep rolling and open the 4th quarter with a splash. Walker to Isaiah Sprinkle for an 85-yard bomb as Sprinkle stays on his feet and races into the end zone. The PAT misses, but Westminster leads Winters Mill 27-2. The home team is salting this one away. After an interception by Rakim Warfield, the offense is back to work. And it's another touchdown for Raekwon Warfield. This one goes for 7 yards, and the Owls lead the Falcons 34-2 midway through the 4th. Winters Mill isn't quitting, and Austin Nuts finishes with a touchdown pass when he finds Tyler Carroll for 5 yards inside the pylon. The Falcons convert the 2-point play, but the Owls are already starting to celebrate. The final score from Ruby Field is Westminster 34, Winters Mill 10. The 8-1 Owls win the county title behind 139 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns from Raekwon Warfield. Westminster awaits a playoff opponent in Class 3A West. Paris Lee runs for 87 yards to lead the Falcons, but they suffer their first loss and are 8-1, 5-1 in county play. Winters Mill will be the top seed in the Class 2A 1A West region. Hey, family on 3. 1, 2, 3. Family! Off to the other football results from Week 9. South Carroll held off FSK for a 3rd straight win behind 150 rushing yards from Anthony Rodriguez and 3 field goals from Cannon Hunter. Speaking of kickers, Braden Fritz connected on the game-winning field goal to lift Man Valley past Williamsport. Kevin Poole rumbled for 160 yards and 3 touchdowns in the Lions shutout against the rival Knights. Seth Jacobs ran for a score and threw for one as well in the win. Time for one last look at the Carroll County Athletic League football standings through the regular season. Westminster claims the county crown for the 4th time in 5 seasons, and Man Valley posts a winning overall record and shares 3rd place with Liberty and South Carroll. Winters Mill put together the best record in school history despite the Week 9 loss. The first round of the regional football playoffs features 2 intra-county games and 3 Carroll teams playing at home. It's Century at Liberty for the 2nd time in as many weeks, and Westminster hosting Man Valley, plus South Carroll at home against Williamsport. We'll bring you the action from all 3 games by way of a CMSportsNet playoffs highlights show on Friday at 10 p.m. Join me and Wintersville coach Matt Miller as we dissect the playoff games and look ahead to the next round of the football postseason. Let's get a quick look now at the upcoming schedule for Week 10. Like I said, 3 home games taking place around the county, and Francis Scott Key heads to Middletown for their first round playoff game. 2 of the 3 games inside the county are rematches from earlier in the fall, and the Liberty Century game took place last week. Bracket time now. Coach Miller's Falcons are the top seed in 2A, 1A West, and they received a first round bye. Wintersville gets South Carroll or Williamsport next week at home. The Falcons have wins over each of those teams already this season. The Cavaliers are 3-0 against the Wildcats all time and beat them in the 2021 playoffs en route to the 2A, 1A state final. Liberty and Century played in back-to-back weeks in the 2008 season, and the Knights won both of those games amid a run to the state semifinals. Francis Scott Key faces Middletown for the first time since 2006, but the Knights own the all-time series 25-7 back when they played annually in the old Monocacy Valley Athletic League. All right, time to look at some stats in each of our featured matchups. First up, it's Century and Liberty. Like I said, the Lions and Knights met last week at Liberty High, and the home team cruised to victory. Century averages 6.2 points per game compared to Liberty's 22.4. Players to watch now from that matchup: one of the top running backs in the county and one of the top receivers when Trey Helmick leads Century into battle against Tristan West and Liberty. West leads the county in receiving yards, and he's averaging more than 25 yards a catch. Helmick's stats are reflected through Week 8 of the regular season, but he still stands as one of the top backs in the county. Williamsport visits Parker Field on Friday, so let's check out that matchup. The Cavaliers have their offense going now after a tough start to the season. The Wildcats come into this game trying to snap a 5-game losing streak. The Cavaliers have a good tandem going on offense as they get set to host Williamsport. A couple of players to watch on their side. Quarterback Caleb Evans has gone past 1,200 passing yards, and Anthony Rodriguez didn't start the season as the team's primary back, but he's up to 500 yards on the ground with 6 total touchdowns. Okay, let's talk about the other county versus county matchup, and we'll start with Manchester Valley. The Mavericks held Westminster to its lowest output of the season when the rivals met in Week 5. The Owls won 19-7. Isaiah Farabee is second in the county in rushing yards, and James Herndon leads all county receivers in catches. Over to Westminster now. The Owls enter the playoffs on a 7-game winning streak after claiming the county title last week against Winters Mill. Kyrese Walker has more than 1,000 yards passing to go with more than 1,000 yards rushing for a second straight season. Linebacker Casey Heisig leads the county in tackles, and Josser Donald leads the CCAL in sacks. Let's look at the team stats for this matchup. The Owls possess the top offense in the county at better than 30 points per game, and their defense has allowed just 16 points per game. Now, Man Valley has won 3 of its last 4, and the Mavericks scored 18.8 points per game during that stretch. All right, time to showcase 2 players in the Mavs-Owls matchup. Nick Lopredo leads this team in tackles, and he's got 3 sacks and a fumble recovery this season. We've already mentioned Casey Heisig, who had 10 tackles last week and caught a touchdown pass out of the backfield. All right, let's see the 3A West football playoff bracket, with Oakdale and Linganore as the top 2 seeds heading into the first round. Westminster leads the all-time series against Man Valley 10-2, and the Owls have won 7 straight against the Mavericks. The winner of Friday night's game is likely to face number 2 seed Linganore in the next round. Now it's time for our Coach's Corner, and we're going to focus on the Manchester Valley-Westminster matchup. So let's hear from Mavs coach Bernie Kuntz, whose team is trying to beat the Owls for the first time since 2014. Coach, how important was getting a win in the last week? How important was it to get confidence as you go into the playoffs now that everybody's 0-0 and it's one and done? Getting a win in week 9, big deal for you guys?
Yeah, definitely. Got us above 500. Getting that 5th win was important. We had left a couple slip away earlier in the year that we felt we had opportunities at. So it was important to get that win going into the playoffs. We're getting healthier, so that's a bright side of things of going forward. I've been dinged up throughout, but we're getting a lot of kids back, and some of the kids are starting to play well and come into their own. So it was big to get a win and get their confidence up.
Everybody makes the playoffs, but you obviously don't know who you're going to get until the cards kind of fall as they may, chips fall as they may. You get Westminster in the first round here. Familiar opponent, just played them a few weeks ago. How much do you lean on that game going into this time, or second time around?
Well, I think having some familiarity, is definitely, key. Kids know each other a little bit more than having somebody, if we were to go to Sherwood or Linganore or somewhere of that nature, they wouldn't really have the familiarity, so we'd have to do a little bit more research and things. But having some familiarity makes it game planning a little bit quicker, a little bit easier, especially when they don't finalize things till Monday and trying to prepare over the weekend and things. But, definitely good, and I think it'll be good for the county to have an in-county game, with the two of us, and it should be a pretty good atmosphere on a Friday night.
That being said, do the kids gain some confidence knowing that they, competed against Westminster during the season? Like you said, you had some close games along the way. That one was a close, low-scoring game. Does that give them a little bit of boost, so knowing that, hey, we can compete with these guys and hopefully turn it around this time around?
Well, I don't know if it's confidence, but I think having the familiarity, knowing Westminster, having a little bit of a rivalry with them, is, gives the kids a little bit more incentive to work as opposed to playing somebody you're not quite as familiar as. I mean, obviously, Sherwood, Linganore, Oakdale have reputation, but that's all you might know about them, as opposed to, growing up a little bit closer to them, having a little bit more incentive and things like that. So probably a little bit more motivation playing an in-county team than it would be an out-of-county team that you're not as familiar with.
Thanks to Coach Bernie Coots for his time, and now over to Westminster. Let's hear from Coach Chris Basler as the Owls get set to face a familiar foe for the second time this season. Coach, last week, county championship game, Winners Mill, packed house. I know you talked to me a lot about playing a complete game. Was that about as close as you've gotten so far in terms of now you've had a week to let it sink in? How pleased were you with how they performed last week?
I mean, anytime you win, you're happy. Winning's hard, and to do it consistently is extremely hard. But I think that was about as close as we've been to, not starting slow and getting off to a good start and playing consistently through the end. Another opponent well coming up this week in the playoffs, Manchester Valley. Two schools of thought there. Do you like being able to know the opponent pretty well, or does it make it a little tougher because they're playing you for a second time? But I think it definitely makes it tougher playing this. Anytime to beat anybody twice in a year is difficult. Yeah. And Coach Coots and his staff does a good job, and they've kind of peaking at the right time here at the end too. And I expect it to be a big challenge and one that we're going to have to really get up for. I think during the season they held you to your the lowest amount of points in that game back in the middle of the season. What are some of the things that you have to do to get a win against them for a second time? I mean, we're first and foremost we're going to play good defense. We're going to have to tackle. They got that big, strong offensive line. And we're going to have to do a good job of competing at the line of scrimmage. And, their receiver number 3 has made a lot of plays. And, it's tough when you have to do a good job defending the run and make sure you have enough bodies back to cover him. So, and on offensively, we just need to continue to not shoot ourselves in the foot with penalties. I think that was a big difference last week. We played a pretty clean game and, probably had our most complete game offensively. Last week was a big atmosphere. It's going to be, obviously another one this week. I'm assuming in playoffs. Do the kids understand? Everybody goes now, but it's a whole different season now. In week 10, do you have to tell them much about? Hey, now we're one and done. We got to play good football the rest of the way, and the atmosphere changes, and every play is a little more scrutinized. Do the kids get a sense of that right now? You think? I mean, I think we've had a sense of that the last couple weeks. Winning the county was definitely a big goal of ours, and we knew that made Liberty and the Winners Mill game basically a playoff game for us. So I think we've kind of been in that mode anyway. And, every week we're striving to play our best game. So, we're really just trying to focus on that.
Thanks, Coach. We'll be seeing the highlights from that game Friday night, along with highlights from Century at Liberty and Williamsport at South Carroll. It's all coming up this Friday at 10 p.m. on the CMSportsNet Football Playoff Highlight Show. Join me and Winners Mill coach Matt Miller for a look at some of Carroll's football teams in postseason action. We're looking forward to it. We'll keep tabs on all the football playoffs the next few weeks, so keep us on your sports radar. And when we come back, we'll see which of the county's boys and girls soccer teams earned a berth into the state tournament by winning regional titles. Plus, we'll look at the county cross country and fall cheerleading championships in the CMSportsNet Spotlight. You'll also find out who was named CMSportsNet Athlete of the Week. Don't go away, there's a lot more Game On coming right up.
Hungry? Genova's to go. Pizza, pasta, subs, and more. Fresh hot pizza right from the oven. Genova's to go. A mouth-watering cheesesteak just off the grill. Genova's to go. Fresh baked bread and plump wings seconds from the fryer. Genova's to go. Genova's to go carry-out, delivery, mobile device, and online ordering is available at all locations. Westminster, Hampstead, Manchester, and our newest dining room in Eldersburg for lunch, dinner, or any time in between. Genova's to go.
Hey there, I'm Pat Stoetzer.
And I'm Michael Duffy, inviting you to join us for The Score and more.
Each week we'll talk about high school sports in Carroll County. We'll share information about upcoming games, highlight coaches and athletes, and much more.
We'll even try to have a little fun along the way. Don't miss The Score and More podcast presented by CMSportsNet.
The Score and More Sports podcast is available online at carrollmediacenter.org and on a variety of podcast channels.
It's time for another exciting season of CMSportsNet's award-winning coverage, and you can be part of it. Few things bring a community together like local sports, and when you become a sponsor of CMSportsNet, you can get your business in front of thousands of viewers each week. These are loyal fans with a passion for the sport and their school, and you can be the community leader that helps celebrate our hometown heroes. Best of all, CMSportsNet's extensive coverage means there's a host of ways you can get involved, from live Game of the Week coverage
It was easy sailing once he saw middle of the field like that, yeah?
to highlights,
DeAndre Grooms comes up with a scoop and score.
exclusive interviews,
Everybody was talking like, it's not over yet, it's not over yet.
CMSportsNet's Athlete of the Week,
There must have been big expectations you guys put on yourselves just because of talent.
blogs, podcasts, and more. There's an opportunity for every budget, and we can customize your package. So what are you waiting for? Get in the game. Call us today and put CMSportsNet to work for you.
Welcome back to Game On. We got a lot of show left for you, so let's get back into it. And we're going to start with some boys soccer regional finals. We're going to start out with Century and Winners Mill. Let's take a look at what happened in that game. Winners Mill and Century met on Tuesday, October 31st in a boys soccer showdown for the Class 2A West Region 1 Championship. The Knights were looking to avenge their regular season loss to the Falcons, who entered the match with 5 wins in a row. Century strikes first when Cole Lakenin crosses the ball to Nick McGinn, and the junior nets the game's first goal. Winners Mill has the answer when Camden Deming launches this direct kick more than 50 yards, and the ball finds the net. Falcons draw even with their rivals. The Knights are about to take control of the game. Ryan Bauer gets a foot on the ball for a backward kick that gets past Winners Mill goalie Drew Jenkins. A funky goal, but Century will take it. Grayson Lucas sends a throw in for the Falcons, but Ryan Ziegler is there to grab it for Century. Now the Knights have a penalty kick, and when Aiden Luckenball converts, it's Century 4, Winners Mill 1. A second goal by McGinn, and the Knights are rolling as we're into the second half. And McGinn gets ahead on this throw from Bauer, and it lands in the net. McGinn has a hat trick, and Century has a 6-1 lead. A nice pass from Christian Kuhlman that finds Owen Wise, who scores with the right foot and gives the Knights a 9-2 lead. One more goal for Winters Mill, and it comes from Chase Aropolo with less than 2 minutes to play. That's it from Westminster. Final score is Century 9, Winters Mill 3. The Falcons get goals from Camden Deming, Maddox Schumann, and Chase Aropolo, but see their win streak come to an end and finish the season with a 9-5 record. Century's Nick McGinn scores 3 goals, and he's one of 7 different scorers for the Knights, who win their 3rd in a row and head to the 2A state tournament. The Knights are heading back to the 2A state quarterfinals for the 2nd time in as many seasons. Congratulations to Century Boys Soccer. To the southern end of the county we go now, where Liberty hosted South Carroll to determine the 1A North Region 1 champ. Let's take a look. Liberty hosted South Carroll on Tuesday, October 31st in a Class 1A North Region 1 Boys Soccer Championship game, with the Lions trying to knock off the Cavaliers for a 2nd time in 2 weeks. But it's South Carroll that gets on the board first. The ball gets knocked around before Cooper Hurley gets his foot on it, and the Cavs jump out to the early lead at the Lions' den. Not for long. Liberty takes advantage of a defensive miscue, and Lucas Britos comes away with an easy goal to make it 1-1 10 minutes into the contest. Here's Brito from the far side, and the junior forward collects his 2nd goal of the game, and it's 2-1 for Liberty. Junior midfielder Austin Veach uses his head to help pad Liberty's lead. The halftime score is Lions 4, Cavaliers 1. How about one more goal from Britos? He tucks this shot into the near side of the net and celebrates on his sideline. Liberty is up 5-1 and heading to another victory. Lions goal Arjun Singh keeps it that way thanks to this nice save during the 2nd half. Final score is Liberty 5, South Carroll 1. The Cavaliers finished the fall with a 7-10 record after winning 4 of 5 to reach the regional final. Lucas Brito scores 3 goals and Austin Veach has 2 as the Lions win their 7th straight game and claim their 1st region title since 2010. Couple of hat tricks on Halloween night for both of those kids. Let's see the playoff picture now for boys soccer. 1A, Liberty is 11-4 into the 1A state quarterfinal after outscoring their 3 regional foes by a combined 15-3. See, now they go over to 2A West. Century makes a return trip to the 2A tournament, and the Knights went on a 16-5 regional scoring run to advance. And we saw them beat Winters Mill in that regional final. 3A boys now. Man Valley had a chance to make it 3 boys regional champions and took out the reigning state champs in the process, but the Mavericks lost a tough title match to Oakdale in penalty kicks. They finished the season at 10-5-2. Over to girls soccer now, the playoff picture. Liberty improved to 11-4-1 after winning a 3rd straight 1A regional playoff game that the Lions rolled past 3 teams by a combined 14-3 to advance. Century repeated as region champs and won the 2A West with a 1-0 victory at Walkersville. The top seed Walkersville was undefeated before Tuesday's regional final. And a quick look at 3A girls. Westminster made it to the semifinals but lost to Oakdale. They did beat Man Valley in that opening round. Playoff victory at home at Ruby Field. All right, let's look at the state quarterfinal matchups for Carroll's boys and girls soccer teams. Liberty boys get International High School Langley Park on Friday at 5 p.m. at Bladensburg High School. The Lions haven't been to a state semifinal since 2007. Staying with the boys, it's Century and Hereford, either Friday or Saturday, time to be determined. The Knights have recent state success. They won the state title in 2019. Century's girls face C. Milton Wright on Friday at Cedar Lane Park. That's a 5 p.m. kickoff. And Liberty's girls get to play at home Saturday night at 6 to take on Havre de Grace. Okay, time to shine the CMSportsNet spotlight on a pair of county championship events that took place last week. First, let's check out the County Cross Country Championship meet that was held October 26th at Carroll Community College and find out who came out on top. The annual Carroll County Athletic League Cross Country Championship meet took place Thursday, October 26th on the campus of Carroll Community College. with all 7 schools fielding boys and girls teams vying for a title. It's the first of 3 championship weeks for the cross-country runners, and they're all trying to put their best foot forward at this time of the year. The varsity girls race went off first, and Century freshman Taylor Colson set a strong pace from the start. Colson crossed the finish line in 20 minutes, 27.15 seconds, almost 90 seconds ahead of the county pack. Colson said she has one mindset when she prepares to run a race.
No, I came into this race wanting to be in the front of the pack and being a winner, having the mindset of just wanting to win, whether that means winning or not, just having the mindset of a winner.
Colson became the first Century freshman to win a girls' county title since Mara Lindy, and said she has been working hard to get where she is right now.
Yeah, over the summer I participated in nationals for triathlons, and I'm on a MC Elite triathlete, and went into cross country, maybe not the best runner, but knowing that I want to work hard and get my goals, and that's what happened this season.
Yeah, it is definitely paying off. Colson led Century to the girls' team title. The Knights had 4 runners in the top 10 and finished with 22 points. Runner-up Liberty totaled 71 points. Century made it an individual county sweep when junior Ryan Hartranft won the boys' race in 16 minutes, 44.96 seconds. The county championship was Hartranft's 5th win of the season, and he said attacking the hilly course on a warm afternoon was on his mind from the start.
Yeah, so I wanted to get out hard in the first mile. We were about 4:45, 4:50, and then I wanted to keep pushing up the first part because I knew I was going to die anyway in the end. Yeah, because it was so hilly in the second mile. So I just tried to push in front of the guy behind me, and then I guess it worked, yeah.
Hartranft had a few competitors on his heels as he emerged from the wooded portion of the course during the final mile, but outkicked his rivals the rest of the way. Manchester Valley placed 3 runners in the top 7 spots and held off Liberty 48-50 to win the program's first boys county team title. Regional meets take place next week, and the state meet is set for November 11th at Hereford High School. Figure on seeing plenty of Carroll County runners poised for success over the next 2 weeks.
Just staying healthy and getting some faster workouts and just working really hard to try to get up in that front pack for states.
You know, going into this with some confidence, but I know that competition is going to get harder, and that just means putting in more work and putting out what needs to be done.
Good luck the rest of the way. Congrats on the county championship.
Thank you.
Congrats to the county cross-country champions, both individual and team. Now, 2 days later, the fall county cheerleading competition was held at Westminster High School with teams from all 7 schools in action. So let's take a look at the highlights.
The Fall 2023 Carroll County High School Cheerleading Championship took place Saturday, October 28th at Westminster High School, culminating a season that began in mid-August with athletes from Liberty, Winters Mill, Francis Scott Key, South Carroll, Century, Manchester Valley, and Westminster doing some spectacular tumbling, building multi-person pyramids, and getting the crowd involved with their exciting dance routine. Manchester Valley came in as the defending champion, as well as the favorite to repeat after having won recent competitions at Howard High and at Westminster. But the Mavericks also had struggled with a fall and a 3rd place finish at a meet just 4 days earlier.
We kind of brushed Wednesday off because we know that we can perform better than that. I think it was a lot of nerves and just a lot of jitters because we knew the next competition was going to be counties. That's what I think.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. So yeah, we just brushed Wednesday off and made sure we came in here and did what we had to do because this was the one that counted.
It wasn't going to be easy for the Mavericks. The county teams were at their best, peaking at the right time, and in fact, 6 teams qualified for the region championship based on their performances at the county meet. As the judges finalized the scoring, all senior cheerleaders were recognized, receiving warm applause from the large crowd. This led to the moment everyone was waiting for, the announcing of the scores and awarding of the top 3 spots. Century finished 3rd in the tightly bunched competition, just ahead of 4th place Westminster with a score of 122.35. The runner-ups were the Cavaliers of South Carroll, edging out Century with 123.1 points to beat all the county teams except one. And the winning team, once again, was Coach Tabby Harding's Manchester Valley Mavericks, finishing with a very strong 125.5 points.
Was that
very happy? That's the highest of our seasons. I feel like our communication was good. It's always good to have mat talk on the floor, and that's what we did. We came on there, we pushed each other on the mat. That's what we have to do on the mat. If you do it at practice, you're going to do it on the mat. So.
For me, I think it was like the first time I just like stopped stressing and I was just like having fun while I was doing it. And that makes a difference because the judges can see it on your face, they can see it in the way you move. You just let go and have fun.
To the Mavericks, there's no question why their program has been so successful the past few years.
It's got to be Tabby.
Yeah, it has to be. It's like, it's
changed when she got here.
Yeah, it really did. It
gotta
really
be her and
changed.
Nikki.
South Carroll and Francis Scott Key were the top 2 qualifiers in Class 1A West. Manchester Valley qualified second, with Century 4th and Winters Mill 5th in 2A West, and Westminster qualified second in 3A West. The state meet is set for November 11th at Harford Community College.
Big days for Manchester Valley in both cross country and cheer, and congratulations to everyone who participated in those events. Okay, time for another CMSportsNet Athlete of the Week. And this senior boys soccer standout helped his team reach a regional final Tuesday night with back-to-back standout performances. Now, we spoke with him before that regional final, but let's find out who it is. This week's CMSportsNet Athlete of the Week, Dayton Siegler, Manchester Valley boys soccer. Dayton had a big week, helped the Mavericks get to a regional championship, scored the game winner in the most recent game against Tuscarora. Dayton, 2 big games last week. It's do or die now in the playoffs. What was that like, getting the easy win in the first round, then really coming at Tuscarora and getting the victory against the reigning state champs?
You know, our first playoff game, we got lucky. We secured the 2nd seed with a few lucky games from other people. And we just knew that game was a confidence game. We knew going in that we had to prove a point, that we deserved that seed. And going into Tuscarora, obviously we beat them during regular season, but we knew it was just another game and we had to go out and play. So it was a close one, but we finished.
You guys have played tough games all year, close games, a lot of overtime games, and you had a really good regular season. How much of that just gave you the extra confidence? Like you said, you secured the seed, you wanted to prove you were a good team, and you got it done. Is it because you played such a tough regular season schedule that you are where you are right now?
Our coach said at the beginning of the season, like, we don't want any easy games, because when come playoff time, those teams that play only easy teams, they're going to get out. It shows, like, I've no disrespect to North Hagerstown getting eliminated as soon as they play a game. It's like, we don't play easy teams, so then we're ready for playoffs.
And the county schedule's tough too as well to get you guys ready. Coach just mentioned to me a second ago, you're a 3-year varsity player, so you were here kind of during the rebuild. It was a couple rough seasons, 10, 11 wins now this year. You know, same record as the county champions, Westminster. What's that mean for you as a senior, trying to go out on top and make a deep run here in the playoffs?
I mean, it just feels great. You know, like sophomore year is rough, and last year we improved, and this year we're only improving. We just keep going up. And it feels good for our senior year to go out on a bang, and hopefully we can win tomorrow to be even better.
Absolutely. Well, good luck the rest of the way. Congrats on a great week last week. Dayton Siegler, the latest CMSportsNet Athlete of the Week.
CMSportsNet's Athlete of the Week is brought to you in part by Barnes Bollinger Insurance Services and by Genova's To Go.
Congrats to Athlete of the Week, Dayton Siegler and his Man Valley boys soccer teammates for reaching that regional final. Game On also wants to recognize South Carroll's golf team, which shined at the state tournament at University of Maryland last week. The Cavaliers won the 2A1A state title by 25 strokes, and that's just the 3rd golf state title ever won by a Carroll County team and the 1st since 2010. Well done to the Cavaliers. All right, we're getting down to the last few weeks of the fall season, so a reminder to stick with Game On and CMSportsNet to see if any football or soccer teams make state championship runs. Field hockey and volleyball playoffs are also in full swing, and we'll see if any of those teams are still playing into November. And that's going to do it for this week's episode of Game On. As always, thanks for watching. And be sure to tune in this Friday at 10 p.m. as Winters Mill coach Matt Miller joins me for our football highlight playoff show. We'll see how some of the county's teams perform in the opening round of the postseason. Be sure to catch all of our high school sports content online on Facebook and YouTube, as well as our website at carrollmediacenter.org. And you can watch us on cable channel HD 1086. Thanks again, everybody, and we'll see you next time.